What is up, everybody? Josh here again, and today we have an Icarus Week 61 update. This week they added some changes to the weather system that they added last week, made them a lot less frequent. They also put some optimizations into the game, and some huge announcements about respawning resources coming soon. Let's get into it, shall we? So Icarus Week 61 Weather Forecasting Number 2. Icarus Week 61 Update fixes for Week 60's weather systems, and they've made multiple adjustments to reduce weather impacts in-game, plus a large performance optimization. Week 61 focuses on correcting issues that arose from their Week 60 update, something our community was vocal about and helped us act on quickly. A week later, weather events and the system that operates them have been scaled back and improved. They haven't scrapped the changes altogether, allowing us to keep the positive elements and strip out the ugly parts. The irony isn't lost on them that they, only hours after releasing the update, in their home city of Auckland, was hit by the worst storm in history and promptly flooded. Thankfully, their team is okay, and this week's update also includes a large performance optimization focusing on ticking, described below. We expect this improvement to be more noticeable in lower NPCs and large open world bases. Have a read and stay dry, team. So in this update, they have weather fixes. They spent a week adjusting their new weather systems with all the feedback we have given them, which was incredibly valuable. And they were grateful for our constructive suggestions and candor. Is that what you called it? Weather now generates one event per weather block. Weather blocks are now longer, and often twice as long or more. They reduced the frequency of weather events to a more reasonable and manageable amount. Weather events are now picked up again via the weighted list system rather than the rolling queue. And the weather forecast has now been extended to 3 days now. They reduced and rebalanced the severity of weather in various prospects. And they have a chart here that kind of describes how the new weather goes. The 3-day forecast now. It says this little block right here is a weather block, and it equals an average of 60 minutes of real time. And within one block, there is a 5 to 9 minute weather event that will occur at random within that block. And the severity of the 5 to 9 minute weather event is reflected by the symbol in that block. So if you have a red, it's the worst, of course, the least being the green. And you can reference that on our last update video for 60, where we went through all the severities. These changes aim to provide a balance between reverting overwhelming elements of the new system while still improving the new system with feedback, so features such as the weather forecast and storm severity are kept. And we have optimizations. Thank Jesus, it's here finally. We're introducing some new performance optimizations that their team has been hard at work, and looking at some of the areas they discussed in week 59. One word you'll see a lot through the optimizations is tick or ticking. Ticks are in action that a game objects perform, typically multiple times per second, reducing the number of things done by each object every tick, and reduces the strain on the CPU and therefore improves performance. Likewise, reducing the number of objects that tick also means better performance. They fixed the loading in certain aspects during gameplay that could cause hitches. These are being loaded, used, and then released to garbage collection every few seconds. They optimized the atmosphere controller to rely more on the cache data, and optimized building pieces to cache several commonly accessed data table values. Weather events now use cache building data, reducing hitches when the system is calculating which building pieces to damage in storms, and building pieces no longer tick. Any ticking logic that they previously had, such as updating stability, is now controlled by their owning grid, and has their calculations spread across multiple frames. When loading prospects with large amounts of building pieces, these operations would previously sync up and cause notable hitches multiple times per second. They utilize converting Unreal Engine blueprint code into C++ to improve efficiency. Several building grid background tasks, which are now managed by the owning system, that evenly spreads these tasks between all building grids. This evens out performance with large numbers of different building grids present in the world. They also optimize the spline system used by electrical and water pipe systems, and optimize deployable objects and benches. Deployables now have a custom ticking system that groups all of the deployables together to reduce CPU overhead. Remove the tick process from almost all trait components that were present on items in the game. So tons of optimizations. Hopefully this will help with your frames, guys. So as you can see in the top right corner, we have the new 3-day Icarus forecast. We just wanted to show you guys that real quick and what it looks like. It's exactly like last week's, it looks like, but with the exception of the 3-day forecast. And of course, they just have less storms now, as we just described. Also, we seem pretty loaded in, and it seems like the lag might be a little worse for me now than it was before. We're in our large update base, and as you can see, even without UI, I'm still pretty much lagging. Really don't believe we should be lagging with a Ryzen 9 5900X processor and a 3070 OC. We're lagging just still a little bit in the game, it seems like, even in our big outpost here. It's not too awful bad. But I would expect a little better, honestly. But the game still kind of runs okay. I mean, it's a little responsive now. It seems like maybe it took a little while to load in or something like that, but not too awful bad. Still getting a little bit of lag, frame loss. Looks like we have some fires on, stuff like that. I don't seem to have this much issues in games. Other games that I've played before, or I play, as far as lag and lagging and frame loss like this game has. This is the only game that I've actually played. And some of the other games are early accesses. But yeah, so they really haven't fixed much, it doesn't seem like, and it's still quite laggy, so there's that. So in the under development, resource spawning. So they're going to be adding some resource spawning to the game. An upcoming feature that some of you have seen in the detailed changelog is the resource respawning options. And even though it's not coming out this week, they're working on behind the scenes for the technology for deployable items that will respawn various resources. Firstly, they have upgraded and optimized the way that they create and render caves. They're also rerunning their entire world regeneration, which will ultimately add regeneration capabilities to voxels, trees, and plants. In the next few coming weeks, 2 items will be introduced to allow players to respawn voxels and flora. And it has been a highly requested feature ever since the release of their open world game mode. They've put a lot of thought into introducing this feature in a way that adds to the experience without detracting from performance. And they can't wait to share it soon. So we do have a changelog this week, and in our fix section this week, in Maelstrom, they added a respawning explosive loot container. Looks like they did some shadow settings variations. The first pass of optimizing weather audio system, creating a weather audio system to manage weather controller events centrally and distribute updates to weather audio components much more efficiently. Also, you can now use your flashlight or biofuel lamp underwater. Yay! It will no longer be extinguished when you go underwater. And of course, they tweaked the storm prediction timings to be less back-to-back and double the likelihood of cosmetic storms appearing. This is mainly for the tier 0 and easy difficulties to have a significantly increased likelihood of cosmetic storms. Optimized, optimized, optimized. I didn't see much of it, but they optimized. Let me know in the comments down below if you feel like the game's a little better for you. Maybe it's just me. And of course, building pieces no longer tick. Not quite sure what it means, but they did optimize the spline system. We mentioned that before, for water and electrical systems. They reduced the tier 4 storm building damage during chaos events. Still damages the same types of buildings, but for less damage. So they basically reduced the damage for building. Apparently, extractors and drills were not ticking and extracting resources, so they fixed that. And then they have a future content section this week, talking about the communicators. Talk about the deployable bases again. Looks like they may have started placing the voxels on the DLC. Added a placeholder thumper item. Previously mined voxels now support reinitialization to original unmined state. And there's a green leaf T-bush. Added first pass of the thumper mechanics to deployable BP. Looks like there might be a dragon tree variant. Talking about the thumper again. And talking about the tomato. Talking about the mega tree a little bit there. Added a new land shark creature with first pass of behavior set. Land shark. Looks like we're getting obsidian Ascaria again. Mentioning that. Talking about the thumper again in 4K textures. Adding a lava hunter bite attack and the lava hunter out of lava movement audio and event and animation. Lava hunter death animation and lay egg audio. Another lava hunter. Sounds and events. Heavy slam event. Move super cooled ice from all non-ice surfaces. Super cooled ice. Looks like they're talking about the thumper system again. And mega trees. Looks like reed flowers and yeast plants might look different because they were painted in the swamp biome. Talking about the Lava Hunter again, and the Thumper, Lava Hunter, and then they made the Thumper recipe dev only. I'm pretty sure that some people had some leaked video footage of the shark and the Thumper, actually. And that looks like that's it for this changelog. And we just want to say thank you to Sergio, Saracen, Wolfie, Bron, and KHX for continuing to be members this month. Thank you guys so much for supporting the channel and for being members. And I'm looking forward to having some new content in the members section only next month, as long as we can get to it. Thank you guys so much. We really appreciate it. And guys, that's it for this video. Don't forget, if you like what you see, to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Subscribing to the channel will get you weekly Icarus update videos like this one, and also guides when we come out with them. I have a new video dropping sometime here soon. It's going to be for newer players and how to get your first exotics. So look forward to that coming out very shortly. And hopefully, we'll see you next time. Peace.